G'day guys, hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're doing well so far this week. I'm going to be reviewing Grand Moff Tarkin, if the name and the title didn't give it away too much. Here is his card back. About time we've seen this guy on a vintage card back. It's been a lot of years in waiting, especially for the older collectors who are able to get the original vintage line back in the 70s. So this has definitely been one that has needed to be done, and definitely 35 years late, being that he is pretty much the main villain in A New Hope, aside from Darth Vader, of course. But this guy is Vader's boss, essentially. He's the one holding his leash, as Princess Leia says. So it's about time we see him on a vintage style card back, and I don't think they could have used a better image of the late great Peter Cushing there as Grand Moff Tarkin. So definitely an awesome one to finally get out. I'd love to pick up a second one to keep carded, but we'll see how it goes as far as distribution goes, because I probably won't chip out for one online. Now here's the figure. It is a cool figure. Let's see if I can focus. There we go. Here's a really cool figure. There's one minor little thing that I'm not 100% sure about yet, but it's pretty cool. It's about time we had a decent upgrade of Tarkin as well. We've seen a few releases of Tarkin in the past. There was one in a comic pack where he was based on the Marvel comics, where he's really green. That was the sort of line of comic packs where they're all sort of with funky colours, which is obviously based on their comic book appearances. We also saw a younger Tarkin, I believe it was in the Revenge of the Sith line. And we also saw one in the Power of the Force, which was actually his first release, Power of the Force 2, and that's him there. As you can see, major upgrade. Tarkin was obviously definitely not that buff in the movies like he is here in this figure, so definitely a worthwhile upgrade. Accessories, well, this one, the other one is kind of cool. Does come with a blaster. Doesn't really need it. I won't be displaying it with the blaster, but it's nice of them to add one in, just to give you that extra little bit of money's sake. But we've seen this blaster a few times on multiple TIE fighter pilots, and same one came with Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan. Different colours, of course, but same blaster. Got a big scope on it. Like I said, wasn't really a necessary add-in, but nice that they did so anyway. So I'll just remove that. He does come with a cool little mouse droid as well, which I think most people weren't really expecting that. But that is a very cool little mouse droid. It's got the little working wheels. Definitely some cool little details on it. This is the first mouse droid I've ever owned. So, and I'd like to find out whether this is the same one that was released as part of the San Diego Comic-Con that had its own little card back. So I'm only assuming it is. Because of the fact it's got working wheels, it's probably the most accurate in size, and probably the definitive version. We've seen a lot of mouse droids released in the past, so that's a nice little accessory, a nice little thing to have on the shelf. So that's really cool. Now back onto Tarkin. Articulation-wise, he has a ball-jointed head, ball-hinged shoulders, ball-hinged elbows, swivel wrists, a swivel waist, swivel hips, ball-hinged knees, and ball-hinged ankles. So really good articulation for a figure that really doesn't need all that much, but considering he just stands there. Now, I know the camera's not picking it up, but his suit is actually a lot more green than it appears. I'm personally alright with it. I actually watched A New Hope, and it is a little bit of a green tinge to it. What I can see on my computer screen here is probably a little bit more what I'd like it to look like. Like I said, there's a little bit more green in person, but it's not too bad. You can see the sort of differences in colour there. I prefer the older colour, which is more of a grey-green, but for the most part this isn't a bad thing. Soft goods, sort of lower part of his shirt there. You know, they probably could have got away with plastic just fine. I don't think that's entirely necessary. especially if it starts to weather or not weather, this fray on the edges. It's going to look a little bit crappy, I think. But it's a little bit of trimming might be needed over the years, but we'll see. I don't play with them much, so it's probably not going to see too much damage. But overall, it's a pretty good figure. And I'm sure a lot of the older generation will be picking this up more so than the younger ones. And we got his nice little rank badge there, nicely detailed, some cool colours there. We've got some other little clips there on his shirt on the side, just on his arms. His silver belt buckle with a little stud on the side. Those things, the tiny little details like that are really what makes a figure, in my opinion. It's just so tiny, it's not hardly necessary, but they do it anyway. And that's what really makes these figures. And we go to the back of the belt. The paintwork's a little bit patchy. As you can see, the belt isn't quite filled in with black, but it's easily fixed with a black marker or something. I probably won't worry about it too much because it's only noticeable once you're up close. And the rest of the rest of his clothing's pretty much stock standard. He's got the sort of pants that sort of jut out. I'm guessing his pockets are full of money. Imagine Grand Moff Tarkin was on quite a nice salary package. And his boots are pretty much stock standard as always. The head sculpt is absolutely fantastic, as you can see. The skin is pretty much one standard colour. There's no sort of shading or anything in the skin colour. But certainly with the definition of the cheekbones, the shadows really give it that look. No matter where you display him, under lights, out of lights, you're always going to, whatever light it hits this figure is really going to make those features stand out. And that's obviously one of the big defining features of Grand Moff Tarkin, so that's fantastic. Got a very stern look on his face, which is nice. And the hair colour, nice grey with some tinges of brown through it. Really shows his age. And the brown's really standing out more on camera than it actually does in person, so I don't know, the camera seems to be picking up something different to what there actually is, but certainly doesn't stand out as much as that, the brown through his hair. So overall, it is a fantastic figure. I highly recommend it to anyone who needs a good Grand Moff Tarkin. For those that like to fill sort of their scenes and have a sort of complete set of characters for each film, which is sort of like me. I like trying to fill in all the different scenes from the films, and he's certainly a good one to have. So I definitely recommend him if you can find him. I know this distribution's starting to sort itself out. We've just gotten the Nominor wave down here in Australia, so that's just been released. We've got some big toy sales happening at the moment, so it's good that they've finally got some new product on the shelves. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at Grand Moff Tarkin. I hope I've done a good job at reviewing it. Stay tuned because I'll have many more reviews in the next couple of days, or in the next few days. I've got another 2 figures I'd like to review from this wave, and then I've got a Gamorrean Guard finally. A little story behind that, which I'll share when I review him. And then I should be getting close to my 150th video. And then I've got a few little other things planned for after that, so stay tuned for that. So thanks for watching as always, guys. I really do appreciate your feedback and thoughts. Always enjoy reading your comments. Definitely let me know what you think of Grand Moff Tarkin. And I'll hit you back in the comments, so I'll speak to you very soon. Until then, guys, may the Force be with you.